My name is Jim Mason. It's my extreme honor to be your Master of Ceremonies here this afternoon. A little bit of history. In 2004, a dog we would come to call Smiley was rescued from a puppy mill near Peterborough, Ontario. He was born without eyes. He was born with a form of dwarfism. As the story goes, Joanne George was a veterinary technician who went to the puppy mill in order to euthanize Smiley and some 20 other of the 80-plus dogs living there. Obviously, that plan changed. All the other dogs were quickly adopted except for that 2-year-old golden retriever, whom Joanne fostered at her family home right here in Whitchurch-Stouffville. As time went on, Joanne realized this dog belonged with her. Thankfully, Joanne saw in Smiley something we all came to love. She saw that he became trained as a St. John's ambulance service dog, launching a career in public service that touched thousands, if not millions, of lives. Those scars and scratches Smiley had endured as a puppy could not deter him. To borrow an appropriate phrase, don't cry because Smiley left us a year ago. Smile for those 14 years. A long life by any large dog standards. That life that Smiley gave to us all. At nursing homes and here in our hometown library, to school hallways, and then to the many who knew Smiley only via social media. The terminally ill, children learning to read, students studying for exams, or the people who simply passed Smiley on a sidewalk here in downtown Stouffville, and of course had to smile back in return. Joanne and Smiley were on the Meredith Vieira show, on the front pages of newspapers around the globe, regulars on your evening news. They were pioneers, somehow becoming the darlings of both mainstream media and social media. As of this morning, Smiley, and I'll include Joanne, Shepard, Darren, and the entire family on this, Smiley had 121,229 followers on Facebook and 10,000 plus followers on Twitter. There are the t-shirts and hoodies I see around us today, the bobbleheads. I know mine is a daily reminder, perched in front of my computer monitor, to smile. There are Smiley bracelets. And there's Joanne's beautiful book, Smiley, A Journey of Love. Smiley and Joanne were co-winners of Whitchurch-Stouffville Citizen of the Year Award. He was then made an honorary member of the RCMP, and thanks for being here today to represent the RCMP. And now a statue. Because we all need a little Smiley in our lives. Because Smiley should never be forgotten. Teaching the world to see with your heart. What an incredible words to live by. What an incredible life. All from a dog nobody wanted. A dog we were destined to never hear from, but fate stepped in and the world became a better place. All because of one dog. Tragedy to triumph, as the CBC put it so well. And as of today, we can officially add commemorated and celebrated to that headline. We have some special guests with us today who'd like to say a few words about today's proceedings and about our friend Smiley. All from St. John's Ambulance. First, from the Vice Chair of the Ontario Council, my pleasure to introduce Stu Kellick. Stu?
Thank you so much, and what an honor for me to be here today, and having known Smiley and now this little fella. It's indeed a pleasure to come and bring greetings from Ontario Council and Chairman Joel Campbell and the 6,000 volunteers in the province of Ontario to pay dedication to one of the world's most famous smiles. Not on an actor, not on an athlete, not on a business mogul or politician, but on one of the most kindred spirits, a resistible, irreplaceable Smiley. For years, Smiley was the face of the St. John Ambulance Therapy Dog Program, and I was privileged to speak to Sir Malcolm Ross, the Lord Prior of the Order, to Governor General David Johnson, and to none other than Desmond Tutu, all of whom were touched by Smiley. Formed in 1992, Jim and Jean Newell, with their Airedale Rex and miniature Schnauzer Scouse, started the therapy dog program in Peterborough, Ontario. And the program grew from the benefits that were obvious to anyone who experienced the interaction of the dogs and those who needed some companionship without caveat or judgment. With almost 2,000 teams, Ontario now has the largest amount of therapy dog teams in the country, and it is growing. 185,000 hours were volunteered, with almost 64,000 interactions with therapy dog clients. And the therapeutic and emotional benefits of therapy dog interaction are undeniable and often surprising, given the nature of some of the afflictions and conditions affecting those who benefit from the relationship. We have all witnessed firsthand the smiles and the oohs and the ahs of the young and old alike when they pet and hold these precious gifts, and none of this was more evident during the Pan Am, Para-Pan Am, and most recently the Invictus Games. Smiley was the epitome of unconditional love. His relationship, no matter how short, with those he visited left them feeling better and perhaps inspired to gain the strength for longer visits next time. This dedication today immortalizes Smiley and the incredible work that he and Joanne did as a team. Well done, Smiley. Well done, Joanne. You will never be forgotten, and always a our family.
Thank you for those great words, Stu. If we had a prize for people who traveled the furthest to get here, I think our friends from, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we have some folks here from near Philadelphia with their 2 dogs. We could please acknowledge them and the long journey they came. This guy, yes, thanks, Joanne. 14 years old. Name Barney. 14 years old, like Smiley, blind. Amazing.
But he's rescued from, they had him tied out on a porch. He was just covered in mold, never fed, watered, and somebody rescued him.
Beautiful. And his partner here, his name is?
Ben.
That's Ben.
Ben and Barney.
Ben and Barney, welcome from Philadelphia to Stouffville. And as Stu so aptly put it, let's not forget the new kid on the block here. He's been holding down court in front of us all, posing for photographs. He's the successor to Smiley. This is Sonny, if you haven't met him. Shepard's gonna take care there. Shepard and Sonny, beautiful teamwork. Sonny was also born blind, and like Smiley, in a very rough situation, was taken in by the non-profit group Northwest Dog Project, and as Joanne has said, passing the torch on a bit to the puppy. Welcome, Sonny. Keep up the good work, kid. Also from St. John's Ambulance, my pleasure to introduce the Vice Chair for the York Region Branch, Greg Stasnik. Greg?
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Greg Stasna, and it's my privilege to be here to represent St. John Ambulance for the York branch, which is the entire 1,772 square kilometers for the regional municipality of York. On behalf of the chair, Tom Carrick, the board of directors, and the 600-member strong volunteers that make up the York branch of St. John's Ambulance, we are privileged to be here today in the presence of Joanne and at this great commemorative event. I just want to speak not just about Smiley and part of our therapy dog program, which is one of the many services that St. John's Ambulance, through its volunteers, offers the citizens in addition to the traditional medical first responder, first aid, car seat program, community service programs. But it's the efforts of the handlers, being the volunteers, and the commitment that people like Joanne and her family bring that we really want to recognize. Joanne's commitment to the York Region Branch St. John Ambulance Therapy Dog Program started in 2011, according to our records. And Joanne has been one of the first and finest ambassadors for the entire country around the world for this magnificent and very important program. Her member history states that she has well over 1,000 hours recorded, but it's probably much more than that, where she and Smiley have traveled throughout Canada and made St. John's Ambulance Therapy Dog Program so well known, as previously mentioned. I would like to also thank the volunteers from York region who are here today and thank them for their gift of time and money. And my message to you from our branch, and I think I represent all 29 or so branches of St. John Ambulance throughout Ontario, is that it's the volunteers, through their commitment, whether they be canine or human, that make up the give back and the strong communities for which we purport that we are a part of. So thank you all for coming out here. Congratulations to Joanne and this commemorative event for Smiley from the York branch. Well done.
Thank you, Greg. Our final speaker from St. John Ambulance, the community coordinator for York Region and a good friend of Stouffville, Rodney Sign. Rod?
Thank you, Jim. I'm just going to kind of address Joanne, and I want to just say to her, we here at York Region have been very blessed to have you a part of our team here. And since I've arrived 3 years ago, I didn't realize the connection, but I had heard about Smiley and yourself. And but the York Region branch is most thankful for you, and we really appreciate that. Last thing I'll just say to everybody here, but especially, it says, it's been stated that when you give your time, you're giving your portion of your own life to someone. And when you get time and you give it back, then you're giving the greatest gift that's available. And we know that's what you've done. So thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. Are we ready? Yes. Okay. Da, 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 da. And now for the moment to unveil a permanent memorial to our friend Smiley. This statue was created in Utah by sculptor Lena Toritch and shipped here today. The location is temporary. The statue will eventually be permanently located across Memorial Park to the front of our new library building, fittingly where Smiley did so much of his fine work. Here we go, folks. 3, 2, 1.
Shepherd, shake his
Beautiful.
paw. Shake his paw. I can always do that. Look here, Chef. Give him another hug. Give him a very nice. Buddy.
Boy and his dog. Beautiful moment. Thanks, Shep.
Great. Who wants to come up and shake his paw? Thank him. That's how I think of this.
That's it. Come on up and see Smiley and say hi to Sonny and all the other fine canines we have with us here this afternoon. What a beautiful gathering of man and dog. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Gold forever.
To Joanne and her family, thank you so much for sharing Smiley with all of us. Good afternoon, everybody. You're welcome to come on inside. There are books. There's some more activities inside for the children. If you want to get a little bit warmer. But thanks, everyone, for coming out for this very special day.
Sit there beside the statue.